it up to him, and that's the way it's always going to be, because you leave it up to him. You don't put up a fight. You give up. So he wins. He does nothing. He's comfortable. That's all that matters to Daniel, is that he's comfortable.
Yeah.
Now, what it costs you to make him comfortable, that doesn't matter. The sweat, the anguish, the misery, the pain you gotta go through, doesn't matter, because it makes him comfortable. That's all that matters. That's all he sees. And you're comfortable with that, apparently.
No, we fight every day for that.
No, you don't put much of a fight up. You tell him, and then you drop it because he goes off on some tangent about something that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. You allow that. As long as you allow that, he's going to continue. He can't help it. He needs somebody to put the foot down, and you won't do it. You're the wrong person, apparently. You're just not the right person to do it. So you're just going to support him, and he's going to be comfortable doing nothing and talking about it. He can't help himself, and you're not helping him by not doing anything. You're just enabling him. You're an enabler. He's dependent. You're an enabler. You're a perfect match. That's what they say. If you go to meetings with codependent people, that's what you'll learn. Yeah, you're a perfect match. You do whatever he says, and he's comfortable with that. Now, the moment he gets uncomfortable, you'll hear a lot of squawking, and he won't do it. But you've got to put your foot down. You don't put your foot down, it's never going to change.
I think he's never going to change.
Yes, now you got the picture. You just have to accept Daniel. He's sick, and you accept that sickness. You don't want him to get better. You want him to be comfortable, which means he's always going to remain sick and never get any better. He cannot recover. He needs help, and he's not getting it here. Instead, he's getting people who let him be sick. Let him be himself. He wants to be better, but he can't do it on his own. He needs help. He's always asking for help. He's asking me to show him this and take him to work and all these other ideas that don't have any basis in reality. Unless you're talking about some kind of utopia. The utopia doesn't exist. It's only in your mind. That's why they have dictators for utopia. Because they just tell you everything, and it doesn't matter how much you suffer, that's the way it is. But it makes the tyrant feel better. Ask Kim Jong-il of North Korea. I wish I knew how sick my wife was before, but I didn't. I didn't see it. I messed up. I could have helped her. I didn't know I was doing a disservice. The worst thing I did was tell her to depend on God. That's the worst thing I ever did. I thought it was a great thing. I thought it was the best thing. I thought it was the right thing. Tell her to depend on God. Worst thing I could have ever done.
She didn't reject it, did she?
She didn't reject depending on God. She rejected me. That's what you don't get. This thing about God is fine and dandy, but you're rejecting, you're neglecting the thing that the topic that you're going on about is you earning a living and supporting the family. It has nothing to do with all these wonderful ideas about God. I told my wife to depend on God because I thought I was helping her.
Yes.
Because that's the thing you should do with a normal person. She's not a normal person. You can't talk that way to her. She has to depend on me to lead her to God. She can't go to God herself. She needs somebody to help her get to God. The way Daniel can't get to work himself. He needs somebody to help him get to work because he can't do it himself. He's going to keep turning the subject around to God. And it sounds nice, but it's just plain nonsense because it's turned around just like when I did with my wife. I thought I was doing a wonderful service for her, telling her don't depend on man, because that's what I believe. I will never follow a man. That's the way I am. If you want me, the best way to make me leave anything to do with a person is to tell me to follow somebody. When you tell me to follow somebody, I immediately reject it. I'm not following anybody. I follow Jesus, but I'm not following a man. I follow God. And I thought telling my wife that was doing a wonderful thing, a Christian thing. It was the wrong thing to tell her because she's sick. Daniel's sick. It's the same thing. He can't help it. My wife can't help it. You've got to have leadership within yourself to wean him off the teat. He's just dependent on you, and if you don't do anything, if you don't put your foot down, he's always going to be that way. You have to, if you don't do anything different, you're going to get the same thing. You got to do something different. You got to put your foot down because he can't help himself. The way my wife can't help herself. That's why I don't have any animosity. I don't have any bad feelings towards my wife. She can't help it. She's sick. Why should I hold that against her? But that doesn't mean the damage she did to me is not so. She still hurt me enormously, regardless of whether she meant to do it or not. It killed me. She ruined my life. But even though I don't hold it against her, she still did it. She's still responsible. Just that she was sick when she did it. And this guy's not going to help your life either. If you don't do something to force him to help him, because he can't do himself. He needs you to force him, to help him. That way. He can't do it on his own self. Otherwise, he's just going to bring your life down. You want your life lifted up, you want a better life, you've got to push him that way. He can't do it himself. He's incapable. He means well, but meaning well is not putting food on the table. It's not paying the bills. It's not putting your kids in school. It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's just meaning well. Well, you know, Gandhi, everybody's got all kinds of meaning well stuff. What does that do for you to put things on the table? What does that do to pay the bills? What does it do for your kids to put clothes on their back? Or to feed them? Nothing. Not a thing. He's not a kitty. Oh yeah, he might seem cute and cuddly. But he's not a kitty. He's a human being. I know it might sound, controversial to some people. You know, pets and animals are equal to humans. They're not. We're different. You know. We have instincts. Animals have instincts. But we should have the instinct to support our own family. He doesn't have that. He's sick. He won't support his own family unless you make him. He can't. There's no way. The concept is beyond his thinking. He won't take his medication. He won't listen to anybody. He does what he wants to do. And as long as you let him do whatever he wants to do, he's always going to do whatever he wants to do. He needs help. Kitty needs help. She wants to be left out. Let her out, leave her in. Or him.
He can go out.
Sorry, kitty. Go out. So that's the help you do for the kitty. Kitty's begging, crying. Say, no, kitty. I'm sorry. That's the way it goes. Same thing with Daniel. He's begging and crying, but you've got to guide him the right way because he doesn't know. He's sick. He means well, but he doesn't know. He's sick. You know.
Yeah.
You know. You're the ones putting the shoes on, going out that door, going in the truck, the car, and going to work every day. He's not. He doesn't know that. That's beyond his That's the Starship Enterprise for him. Hey, that's another universe. He's never had to suffer for that. You're the one who suffers for everybody.